So I was not expecting my entire day to be filled with news about Laura Loomer and MTG's catfight, but that is exactly what's happening. For some reason, the mainstream media they picked it up and ran with it, and now it's kind of taken on a life of its own, where they're talking more about the possibility that Donald Trump is cheating on Melania with Laura Loomer, allegedly, because of the way he's cozying up with her, the multiple videos that have come out. And this isn't just left-wing media talking about it. We have some Fox News pundits that are starting to pick up on this stuff. So I wanted to cover a video that was done by Pondering Politics because he did a really good job of covering the whole events of today. And Donald Trump did a press conference. So I wanted to check that out with you guys.
Yesterday, we discussed a brewing MAGA civil war for the soul of Donald Trump, primarily between Marjorie Taylor Greene and an influential MAGA cultist, potentially more extreme than Greene herself, by the name of Laura Loomer. And Republican officials have been coming out of the woodwork begging Trump to distance himself from Loomer. But now Trump has finally spoken up in public, and he has made it abundantly clear that he is sticking by Laura Loomer, defying the Republican Party, and increasing this scandal maximally. And we have to talk about it. But before we do, definitely subscribe to my channel and leave a like, and then go to Pondering. Click the link to Pondering Politics after this video and give him a subscription and a like if you like this video too. If you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. All right, friends, this is a follow-up to a video that we did
At least I don't ask you to hit the alert bells.
Yesterday about Marjorie Taylor Greene and Laura Loomer. Now this has the potential to become an explosive campaign derailing scandal.
Yeah. See, already it hasn't even been 48 hours, and this has almost taken over more of the news coverage than the debate did.
Thanks in large part to Donald Trump's recklessness and stupidity. So he was finally asked to weigh in on this and the scandal of Laura Loomer. And for context, as a reminder, Laura Loomer has a long history of controversial, racist, bigoted, incendiary, dangerous remarks. My God, she also suggested public.
Oh, if you want to get the full story of Laura Loomer and all of her tweets and like the specific spat between her and Marjorie Taylor Greene, check out my last two videos on this. They are awesome.
Executors, rather.
I'm not just saying that either, because I had a lot of fun covering them.
She suggested executing Democrats during an episode of Tim Pool's podcast, right? I mean, so she is all over the place, maximally unhinged. Marjorie Taylor Greene is like, this girl's crazy. And again, this is something that we talked about yesterday, but Donald Trump finally entered the fray and has given public remarks on this. And this is bad news for Marjorie Taylor Greene and for most of the GOP.
Oh, you're telling me that Donald Trump is about to embarrass them? No.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No way. He's a big off-the-cuff remarks. What?
Republican colleagues or your allies who are concerned about your close relationship with Laura Loomer?
Well, I don't know what they would say.
Man, it's kind of funny when he gets a question where he gets cornered, because he does this in like totally different shift where it's not like the fake news, but like that one where he knows for a fact that he can't really deny it because this woman he's made videos with her. She's totally there. So he's just like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Laura's been
that should be
a
great.
supporter.
That should be
just
great.
like a lot of people are supporters, and she's been a supporter of mine. She speaks very positively of the campaign.
I don't know. Somebody brought up that we might be looking too deep into this, that they have a theory that he is asexual and that he just doesn't really have any, like, he's just keeping around these, like, eye candy pieces just because he is Donald Trump and that's his brand. But I could see it, but I'm like, I don't know, like, he's Donald Trump. Just based on his history, probably not. But
I'm not sure why you asked that question, but Laura's a supporter.
Not sure why you asked that question.
I don't control Laura. Laura has to say what she wants. She's a free spirit. Well, I don't know. I mean, look, I can't tell Laura
free spirit
what to do. Laura's a supporter. I have a lot of supporters, but I don't know what exactly you're referring to.
Okay. Her best insult to MTG was calling her a white trash harpy. That was pretty funny.
So he becomes visibly agitated, even waves the question away. But unfortunately for him, there are follow-ups to this.
I physically saw the question and I just said, nope, Deflect.
Because again, this is now
I used the power of the force.
making national news. News outlets are talking about this. And per usual, Donald Trump makes things worse for himself. So this is from the same event in California. Another reporter brings up Laura Loomer.
Yeah, please. I just don't know. Laura's a supporter. I don't know. He's
getting pissed. He's getting pissed. And this is one of those things where he's getting like, you ever ask a guy who's hanging out with a younger girl, and this guy's married, like what their relationship is, and then they start going on like, oh, well, she's my secretary. Well, we're just friends. I'm taking her out for a nice meal just because she did a really good job this week, and then you find out later,
person. She's got strong opinion.
That happened to me. Like that's legit, like an anecdotal thing that happened to me. So,
and I don't know what she said, but that's not up to me. She's a supporter. Please.
Traveling with you on your plane.
Okay, a lot of people do. It's a very big plane.
With you. She made racist remarks about your opponent.
It's a very big plane.
Also espoused conspiracy theories about 9/11. Do you disavow those remarks?
Well, I have to see what the remarks are. You're telling me for the first time we're here discussing the destruction of San Francisco and California by a person that's running for president. So I don't even know what you're talking about. I do know that she may have said something based on what you're telling me, but I don't know what she said. But I'll go take a look and I'll put out a statement later on. But I really don't know. Please.
I'm looking forward to that statement.
Actually put out a statement. Yeah. It's entirely possible that's not the case because Donald Trump doesn't.
Yeah, I think he's deflecting this one, and he's just like, I hope this one goes away. Please don't ask any more questions.
Particularly care about controversy. The currency that he values most is personal loyalty to him. So, I mean, obviously, he'll throw any supporter under the bus if it's his ass versus theirs. But that's the last line of defense. He loves the cultists. He wants you as maximally cultish as possible. And Laura Loomer is devoted in ways that, again, perhaps even Marjorie Taylor Greene.
If there's been one thing proven through all of this drama is that MTG has a line that Laura Loomer does not. And I have a feeling that's why she's on the plane and MTG isn't.
He is not. Donald Trump continued to be peppered by questions, rightfully so, about Laura Loomer at this event.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
What value do you feel that Laura Loomer brings to you? And has nobody told you about?
Man, all these questions are about Laura Loomer, and he's getting pissed. He's getting more and more pissed.
Conspiracy theories that she is promoting.
No, I don't know that much about it. No, I don't. I know she's a big fan of the campaign, but I really don't know.
Fangirl of the campaign. What do you call it? She's just a groupie.
Say that, well, she brings a spirit to us that a lot of people have. We have very spirited people. And in all fairness to her, she hates seeing what's happened to the country, I guess. I mean, she hates seeing what's happened to the country. So,
well, if you don't know her that well, how the hell do you know her stances?
Why? It's very sad.
So there you go, folks. I mean, Donald Trump doubled down on his support for someone as controversial and repugnant as Laura Loomer, such that she's even driving away devoted MAGA cultists like Marjorie Taylor Greene. Could any sane person in Trump world question?
Oh, come on. Don't pretend that Marjorie Taylor Greene is going to vote for anybody else but Donald Trump. Let's not go that far and say that, she's just not going to be out there, as, a mouthpiece. But I mean, just check her Twitter. Like I checked her Twitter today because of all this stuff, and her aides definitely got to her, told her to shut up, told her not to even get involved anymore. And she started talking about business as usual.
Taylor Greene's loyalty. And yet here she is as a reminder publicly complaining about
We
Laura
have seen
Loomer
this clip
and suggesting
at least like
that
4
a close
different
association
times.
with Laura Loomer by Donald Trump and MAGA would actually be disastrous for the Republican Party, for the MAGA movement, and for Donald Trump's reelection efforts. Again, just as a reminder of what Marjorie Taylor Greene has said on the topic.
I do love how we're all doing the same thing where it's just like, it's Marjorie Taylor fucking Greene. Like, how did you find somebody more racist than her?
And her hateful tone. To me, many of the comments that she makes.
Somebody said that she had Titan face. I guess Assad had said that. Man, after hearing that, I can't unsee it.
And how she attacks.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, Attack on Titan. And if you are just like not a weeb at all or, don't like anime, look it up and then tell me that I'm wrong.
Republicans like me, many other Republicans that are strong supporters of President Trump, I think they're a huge problem. And that doesn't represent MAGA as a whole.
She still traveled.
That's weird. Every other video of that I saw had way better visuals.
With the former president, would you encourage Trump not to keep close contact with her?
Laura Loomer has lost 2 Republican congressional campaigns one in a general and one in a primary. And this is such
I haven't, even though I'm in a Loctite district.
an important election. I don't think that she has the experience or the right mentality to advise a very important presidential election. But I do know this, that her rhetoric and her tone does not match the base, does not match MAGA, does not match most Republicans I know.
And yet the leader of MAGA,
I was just wondering, I'm like, is this a new clip? Because I didn't hear that part, but no, that was totally it.
Your cult leader, Donald Trump, not only has been closely associating with her, but even when this is brought to his attention, he just doubles down on his support for Laura Loomer because he views Laura Loomer as someone, unconditionally devoted to him, which again is the only currency that Donald Trump trades in outside of the US dollar, right? That's the only thing that matters to him. As a matter of fact, Marjorie Taylor
You said nice things about me. Here you go.
Greene doing what she's done may very well be undercutting her stock with Donald Trump, right? Because you could easily interpret this as a criticism of Donald Trump, given that he is clearly associating with her despite her public protestations. So
he kind of took it that way.
It could be seen as like, hey, you're criticizing me. You're suggesting I'm doing something wrong. You're publicly critiquing my behavior. This may elevate Laura Loomer. But Marjorie Taylor Greene, as I said in the video yesterday, not to defend her because she is also profoundly hypocritical. Her rhetoric, she's complaining about Laura Loomer's rhetoric, rightly so, except Marjorie Taylor Greene has also indulged in similar aggressive, hateful, bigoted rhetoric and also cast.
Oh, come on. You remember when she was chasing around that David Hogg kid from Parkland? Dude, like the only reason we're reacting the way we are is because she was just that reprehensible, and we are genuinely surprised that there's a worse human being that you guys would put into the public eye and then just be like, yeah, she's totally part of our party.
Dangerous aspersions about the Democratic Party.
Like, you guys are running out of just like the worst of the worst. Like you really are pushing those boundaries where it's just like you're taking the worst bullies who use the worst rhetoric, who you even in your own party. And I'm talking like people who actually support these people, like the Marjorie Taylor Greene fans can't even support this. Do you understand how far you have had to lose the plot to be at this position? Like, it's insane.
Large. It's like the pot calling the kettle black. As a reminder, again, Laura Loomer said, made all just really despicable public attacks on Vice President Kamala Harris that were racist in nature about the vice president's Indian heritage. Again, we talked about it in yesterday's video, and it gets so bad to think about it in 2020.
It smells like curry thing. I actually did kind of think about. I'm like, is it racist to? I mean, I guess because it's a generalization about somebody's race, so I guess that's racist. But thinking about it, like, if you're talking about an Indian family and you just say, I bet their house smells like curry, like, you could say that. But if you're saying it, like, it's in the context of how you say it, because also, I kind of made this joke before, but this is showing just how afraid white people are of spice, because they tried to make something about this with Tim Walz and, Kamala at the beginning of this whole thing. Was they were talking about how Tim Walz doesn't like spice, and the spiciest thing I like is mayo, which, again, like playing into it, but as a white dude who likes spice, it's kind of like, oh, okay. I just think it's dumb because my house smells like curry sometimes.
24 given.
So now I'm just going to be like, oh, okay. So the house smells good.
All the terrible comments.
People who don't like curry smell, I at that point don't trust their taste.
Made about the vice president, even by Trump himself. The fact that this is generating such attention is quite staggering and long overdue. It's not just Marjorie Taylor Greene. Believe it or not, this entire situation.
Love me a good buttered chicken.
Situation is making strange bedfellows out of people. Lindsey Graham, top Trump ally, also commented on this. He told the Huffington Post, Trump shouldn't be palling around with 9/11 Truth or Laura Loomer. Marjorie Taylor Greene is right.
Oh, I couldn't find this one because I thought she took it off of Twitter. I just guess I must have missed it. But here we go.
We apologize.
This is funny because she totally attacked Lindsey Graham too.
Disagreements, but the history of this person is just really toxic. I don't think it's helpful at all. I think what she said about Kamala Harris and the White House is abhorrent, but it's deeper than that. I mean, some of the things she said about Republicans and others is disturbing because, of course, Lindsey Graham cares a lot less about you making racist attacks on against Democrats than making attacks against Republicans.
He says, quote, I think that the former president should serve himself well to make sure this doesn't become a bigger story. And now he has doomed himself in that respect. Trump has now officially made it a much bigger story. Graham also noted Loomer, quote, actually called for Kellyanne Conway's daughter to hang herself, which I didn't know about. But MAGA world is so crazy that it's easy for this stuff to slip under the radar. So, yeah, Laura Loomer is so unhinged that
wow,
she called for the daughter of top Trump advisor and supporter Kellyanne Conway to hang herself. So that's Lindsey Graham. It's not just Lindsey Graham. Tom Tillis, Republican senator from North Carolina, my state, he said on Twitter, Laura Loomer is a crazy conspiracy theorist who regularly utters disgusting garbage intended to divide Republicans. A DNC plant couldn't do a better job than she is doing to hurt Trump's chances of winning re-election. Enough. To which Laura Loomer responded, Tom Tillis is a rhino who attacked Trump after January 6th and called for all of the January 6th political prisoners to remain in jail. Tom Tillis is the DNC plant he accuses me of being. Let's
one little piece of hair that just will not go away.
Examine the facts, shall we? Last year, Tom Tillis was censured by the North Carolina GOP because they accused him of working against Donald Trump and didn't like Tillis's weak stance on immigration. Tillis challenged Trump's immigration policies and supported a measure that provided funds for red flag laws. The North Carolina senator opposed Trump's plans to use military construction dollars to build a wall along our nation's southern border and only agreed to show up to the RNC this year to pretend like he was unified after Trump was shot in the ear. These people are enemies to our country and enemies of MAGA. Tillis should be working to close our borders, but he's too busy attacking me on X. Notice all the people who are attacking me are for open borders, and they all have a record of attacking Donald Trump. There's a pattern here. Tillis is the one who should be condemned for his record of working against Donald Trump. I've always supported Donald Trump. Tillis can't say the same. And then she says the receipts, headlines of Tillis criticizing Trump over comments, calling January 6th rioters patriots. Manu Raju of CNN, a screenshot of this, asked Tom Tillis.
This kind of seems petty. Just I never really criticized Trump. Oops, you found some stuff of me criticizing Trump.
Was about Trump defending January 6 prisoners, and he said, "Folks, I was the last Senate member out of the chamber on January 6th. I saw Capitol Police officers bleeding, bruised, and I saw damage to a certain extent as we were exiting. To call these people patriots is not."
I have to let my dog out here in a minute.
My lexicon. North Carolina GOP censures Senator Tillis for backing LGBTQ rights and other policies. This was in June of 2023. So yeah, the MAGA civil war continues. And if anything, Donald Trump's reluctance to part with a cultist like Laura Loomer, even though it would be in his political best interest, just goes to show a couple of things. Number one, he's reckless. Number two, he's desperate. Number three,
this one's a little bit different than the Nick Fuentes situation where he just had a dinner with Nick Fuentes. This lady is like not only following his campaign, but she is definitely one of his top advisors right now. Because you don't have the videos that they have out there right now of her as close with to and with Trump. Then, I mean, also on top of it, it really, I'm just going to say it. Alina Habba, Marjorie Taylor Greene, they are putting out the vibes of they are just jealous that Trump didn't pick them.
The only thing that matters to him is how publicly cultish you are to him. And number four, it's never enough. It is never enough. Marjorie Taylor Greene, it's not enough. Tom Tillis, not enough. Lindsey Graham, not enough. Not enough. Not enough. This could and should derail Donald Trump's election campaign. And by the way, I think
how many times have we said that where we're just like, this should theoretically derail, but then everybody's just no, because they always go to bat for him.
They also have a moral obligation to signal boost this as much as possible. There you have it, folks. Donald Trump just took a bad situation and
all right, well, as I said, go take a look at Pondering Politics. He has a great channel. I really enjoy his coverage. He's one of the better leftist streamers that he doesn't really he doesn't inject too much of his own personal politics into the story, which, it's kind of refreshing sometimes, which you're not going to get that from me. I don't have that in me to not inject my personal politics into what I'm talking about. So that's why I'm recognizing it as a strength of his. Alrighty. Well, I hope you guys, I've been saying this before, but I hope you guys have been enjoying all of this. The Marjorie Taylor Greene stuff, the Laura Loomer stuff. Like the last 2 days has been hilarious. And honestly, I did not see it kind of coming, number one, blowing up so fast. Number two, I didn't see it turning into the story of possibly being, a little bit of a Trump affair. But that is now what most of social media is kind of latching onto. I've been kind of checking up on it periodically throughout the day. And yeah, it's not getting any better. If anything, it's more than likely going to hit the full mainstream coming up here. So We shall see. But if you like my content, leave a like, comment, subscribe. I'm getting closer to 1,000. I also am trying to hit the 300. If I haven't already, I'm not entirely sure, but kind of depends on when I release this. But if I haven't, then you could be the 300th, and how awesome would that feel? So, as I said, if you can, let's leave a subscription for me. Come on, let's go. It's free. It helps. All right. I appreciate it. Thank you. I will see you in the next one.